it's a little strange in that you do actually give people sound, or at least, as sound as you can.
The best I can do. We all know my limits.
Yeah. But most people would think like every single call is going to be a joke, or, you got to crap on the guy or something. But you've heard some people with some real issues, and they feel compelled to call you for some
I don't know why. I think I'm the relative comparison, like where they know that I can't judge them because I'm also a mess.
That is
I'm
true.
a disaster.
Yeah. I guess people in therapy, they look at a therapist or a psychologist or what have you, and they got to be like, the person actually went to school, got a degree, so how could they possibly relate to me?
Yeah.
And then, a piece of garbage like you.
100%.
Or me.
They know.
I get it.
You and I have both scraped the bottom of the barrel with our teeth. We get it. Two garbage people.
And so have you had so far, because you've done a few shows now, have you had somebody that you got on the line and was like, oh boy, maybe this is out of my league, I need to refer him to?
No. I mean, once you get past a few, I think I want to, and that's just my wife.
Well, she's already hung. Oh, you okay, Grandpa?
Yeah.
You're like Don Corleone in the tomato patch. You're spilling it. Stop.
I have that thing in my like. It's not that bad of a cold, but I feel like if I laugh too hard, I'm gonna cough a lot. That was funny. That made me laugh.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury had that too.
Yeah, he certainly did. But at least he had fun getting it. Yeah. I just talked to a comic at the cellar.
Oh, apparently, yeah, Freddie Mercury. There's a picture of him in bed with 5-10 guys. And everyone,
really?
Whenever you see Freddie Mercury, because there's a lot of documentaries and stuff about him, and you look and you just go like, oh, that must have been where it happened.
Here's my impression of every guy who was ever with Freddie Mercury. Less teeth. Giant teeth.
He certainly did. Got the yellow and black lines on painted on his lips like a hopper and a wood chipper. Please steer clear. Aw. Oh my God! Yeah, this is a quick one. I always, I don't know. I kind of have a problem with girls that have had
puberty.
Yeah. I might as well just say that. It was years ago when we were doing the O&A show, and before you came on board. Screwing up or bombing was a nightmare. It was something that we would just not want to acknowledge. You look down, you plow ahead, and the face you would make. And I still watch videos to this day when all the comics are in, and DePaulo and Voss and Patrice and Colin, and someone would bomb. They'd say something that was not funny, and you got this look of joy on your face.
Yeah.
Like smiling, nodding your head, looking at him, going, "Yeah, that tanked."
There's something so satisfying about it. Like I truly do love unfunny things sometimes. Yeah. Like I 2 sets last night I had. Neither were particularly good. I didn't bomb on purpose, but it just wasn't going well.
Right.
And I was just really enjoying it. Like, this is not going great. I'm trying this stuff out.
That's weird. I would understand if you're watching someone doing that, but you yourself are kind of chuckling that you aren't going over well.
I told the audience, this one's my fault. I'm like, you're a nice crowd. I really have let you down. And I meant it. I wasn't angry at them. I was just kind of being a little self-indulgent, and I couldn't find anything funny. So I just told them, I know this sucks.
You've shown some masochistic traits over the years.
Sure. Tonight.
Yeah. Doing this show. Yeah, it's but I never thought if you're up on stage, because anyone would imagine if you're up on stage, especially as a comic, you just want to kill it. You want to do great. And I'm sure you want to, but you don't that doesn't terrify you if you're bombed.
No, I mean, I started the set with the best of intentions and it just wasn't going where I wanted it to. And then you kind of embrace it and go, all right, let's see if I can just try this or try that, or just kind of enjoy this weird moment that I'm having and acknowledge it. You make something out of it. I didn't take the set. It wasn't going well, but I couldn't figure it out.
Some comics like Big J Okerson is so good at crowd work.
He's great at it, yeah.
And anytime I watch you, it seems like you only do crowd work when something happens that dictates you need to talk to.
Or if I'm in the mood,
crowd,
yeah.
or in the mood, yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually not in the mood. Like, I feel so much better if I get a laugh doing something I want to do. Not that I hate crowd work. I don't hate it, but I just like,
Not your cup of tea.
Yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah.
But it's not that it's not that hard to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do enjoy it sometimes.
Some people are so good at it.
Jay's great. Like,
it's
he's
like
the boss,
so
is great.
fast, and you don't want to sit there and have to look at them and think of something.
Yeah.
You just look like a dolt.
Voss is, I'd say Voss.
He's a dolt.
He's a dolt, and yet the fastest at crowd work.
He is really good.
Because he can be mean so quickly.
But now him sitting in a chair on stage, he saw one of the legs off.
I honestly, I don't blame you, because it is angering. But he's been doing that for years. Like, Voss goes through phases, like where he'll sit, where he'll stand, the same height either way, which is kind of odd. But he's gone through that thing where he would just sit.
Yeah.
And he went through that for a long time, and then he stopped, and then he started again.
Yeah, I'm not quite. I don't like the sitting thing. It's kind of Bill Cosby,
Sure, there's other things about him you love.
I was going to say he wasn't a whip at getting girls, but the UFC thing. I know you're a huge UFC fan. Some of the greatest segments were when we have UFC guests on the O&A show, and they would do moves on you.
Yes.
They would put you in various holds and locks and choke holds, and you would tap out and make horrific noises like you were dying.
Getting choked, yeah. Kicked.
Again, a little masochistic.
Yeah.
But you're a fan, and UFC last night in Miami.
It was great.
And Trump showed up.
Yep.
And it was, again, like, this guy shows up at these predominantly blue-collar events, and people love this guy. Can't get enough.
He makes, and they played music for his, I think it was American Badass by Kid Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Rogan or one of those guys pointed out he's the only guy who's not a fighter who walks in with an entrance and music.
Entrance music and a posse.
Very funny.
And yeah, he goes up, he gave Rogan a big hug, and, and they have a little chit chat. Rogan's so funny because he calls, he goes, "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, God, this was, before he was president in the first place, back before 2016. You would just be like, "Hey, there's Trump. There's that," and then all of a sudden it's Sir, Mr. President.
Me and Louis took me to a fight years ago. It was a Gennady Golovkin fight at Madison Square Garden, and we sat. It was like 2015. It was like when it was rumors that he was going to run.
Right.
And Trump was right in front of us, and we sat like a row behind Trump and a few seats over. And so I was like, "Oh, it's Trump." And I was just yelling to him as Chip.
Oh, no.
I wasn't yelling at him. I'm like, "Mr. Trump." I was just screaming. I got a picture of Chip.
The Apprentice, put me on the show.
That was it.
Yeah.
Dude, one time I was walking out. He was in my building because Don Jr. lived above me for 10 years.
Don Trump Jr.?
Don Trump Jr.
Thank you.
DJ TJR. And I walked in the lobby, and Trump was in there with Don. They were talking to somebody, and I was going to stop and say hello. But this is way before he ran. But I was like late for a spot. And I was like, I just saw Trump, and I left. I didn't stick around and say hello. I had no idea it was going to be the president of the United States.
No one did. Because he used to call us a couple of times, or we would call him or what have you. And, it was Trump, and he was hilariously funny. He was plugging The Apprentice. And then I think one time it was alluded to that Trump had called our show instead of us calling him. And he's like, he got mad. He got really mad. Like, "No, I didn't call. You called me." Make sure people know that. You guys are slobs. He called us slobs.
Yes. So he's definitely perceptive.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
And later when he called Rosie O'Donnell a slob, I was like, okay, he knows the definition.
He certainly does.
At the very least. But, he came in and just a hero's welcome. And then you get Bernie. Bernie Sanders was at Coachella, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This guy, he's ancient in anywhere he goes. He's the oldest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And, trying to get young voters. Trump has made the traditional political thing, shaking hands and kissing babies. It's ridiculous now. It looks phony because it is phony.
It looks stupid.
And they don't have another play in their book. It's all they have. So they keep doing it. And we just look and go, "Ugh, really? Bernie is going to Coachella?"
And I watched a moment of his speech, and he was standing up there, and look, he's like, I'm going to keep it brief. And he goes, the future of this country is your generation. And they cheer. And it's like all of that, like the exclamation point cheer or the almost like the applause button lights up.
Yeah.
It's sickening.
They have moments that they know. It's like, this is where the applause goes in.
Where is E-Rock, by the way? He just disappeared. I don't like it.
He disappeared after we were asked if we want pizza.
You think he's waiting by the elevator with a feed bag under his mouth,
sitting pretty with his paws up.
I'll take this. He just tips it.
It's just open the box. It's just eaten crust. No, he'd eat that too.
Of course.
Who am I trying to kid?
We'd be like, "Where's the box?" You'd see a little piece of box in his mouth. Well, actually, no, you wouldn't.
Wow, that is a huge fan.
I've never done anything like that before for a show.
Yeah.
But it's Sabbath's last show, and it's going to be with Bill, with the drummer.
Yeah.
So I want to see with Bill Ward.
Bring him some gifts. That was one of the greatest moments in O&A history.
It really was.
The birthday present.
Yeah.
You brought books. You went to the bookstore. And I know you well enough to know you put so much thought.
A lot of thought.
Into every single one of these books you bought at Borders or whatever it was, Barnes & Noble, for Ozzy's birthday. And it was Beatles books and music.
All Beatles
oriented.
books.
Yeah. And you brought him in and he was like, "Oh, thank you, Jim. It's wonderful." And he left and forgot the books.
Yep, he left the books.
Didn't take them. And it was hilariously funny. It's the only way that should have worked.
It worked the way it should have. And he sent Tony Dennis, who was his assistant at the time, back in. And we were like, but he wanted Ozzy's cup. Ozzy had left his cup. Because he was sick and he had like a special cup he was drinking out of.
And then we had to go, also, could you please take the books?
Didn't. They stayed there for years.
They did.
They stayed there for years.
Books.
And then a few years later, I'm in Los Angeles after I got to know him a little bit. And I'm with Jonathan, and who's my manager, and my ex-girlfriend Jen. We're all going to meet for lunch. And I texted Ozzy. And he goes, "Are you in L.A.?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Why don't you come over? I'll play the new record for you."
Oh.
So I just left my manager and my ex-girlfriend at a restaurant and went to Ozzy's house and listened to his record.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
That's like, and they should understand.
They totally did. Not only was I okay with doing that, if it was my current wife, and it was literally, if she was getting last rites, I would leave and then go celebrate with Ozzy.
That's great. Yeah, because I remember that, like the first time Ozzy came in and everything, and it was huge. But it was such a great perk of doing the radio show to meet some of these people and, talk to them, ask them questions, see how weird they are in real life. Like, who was it? Was it not, who was the guy? I always get him confused with Liam Neeson, but it's not Liam Neeson. It's the
Willem Dafoe.
No,
somebody else with Jet Black.
Everyone.
Oh, Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Yes, yeah.
Gary Oldman was a weirdo.
Yeah, he was a little crazy,
a little nutty, but funny. But you get so used to seeing them in movies, and especially if they have a certain attitude, a part they play better than others, or more often than others. So you kind of like, I expected that, but this guy's out of his mind.
He was a little crazy, and I'm always so filled with shame, as I should be. I was on a plane,
literally filled with shame.
Filled with shame. I can't say on the radio, but let's just say the shame does come back out.
We get it.
Yes, it certainly does. It's a blurka sound. I was on a plane, and Gary Oldman and his family got on. And I wanted to say hello to him. Gar? I'd rather not. But I knew he'd remember me because he said he liked my special or whatever. But I was so ashamed of I just couldn't bring myself to say, because if he said he didn't remember me, I just would have been like
horrified.
I had to have the fantasy that he actually still liked me. Yeah, there was some uncomfortable. I have a hard time doing it too. Like for me to get like really crappy with somebody, I have to be angry with them or they have to do something. Yeah. Like that gets me past that point. Like I'm not good at just being confrontational with somebody for no reason,
right?
Especially if they're being nice.
Jesse Ventura was
that's the example.
Huge moment. So memorable. It's on video.
Yeah.
So it's all over YouTube. It has been for years, and it's one of the most popular things that ever happened on the show.
I'll still get messages from people, and they'll be like, I saw the Jesse video, you should kick your ass. And I'll write back, you're mad about an argument two guys had 16 years ago?
Yeah. Shut
Shut up.
The speed at which you came out with riffraff hairdo, that's what did it. That put it over and made it so memorable. Jesse was mad, and he kept saying, like, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy
and then
that
touched him like really.
Yeah,
my back,
had
my
you
back,
very, very hard. And you just had it at that point.
I didn't like that at all. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
like being alpha. I'm not a tough guy at all. It just set me off. And I kind of, that's another one. I don't regret the argument.
No.
But I regret that we never talked after, because it was just so, I mean, it's so stupid. Like, I don't have any bad feelings towards the guy. I don't care about him at all.
He's still alive,
Yeah.
You might bump into him at some point. Have him on your show. I'm off the grid. I go to Mexico in the summertime, and I get off the grid. I don't have a phone. I don't have, what else? Walkie-talkies. And you're like, what do you do down there? Off the grid. All right. They didn't allow me on Plum Island. I told them I was a governor, and I took the boat over. It's like, yeah, it's a virus island, but I'm a governor, a fighter, a Navy SEAL. Got it. God, what an overinflated sense of self-worth.
Yeah, he really was a bit verbose about his accomplishments.
Speaking of overinflated, how are you, E-Rock?
Doing fine.
That's uncalled for.
It is so uncalled for.
You actually look good. I don't mean that to be shocked.
Right?
I mean, I was happy when I saw you today. You look
He
good.
does
Thank
look
you very
good.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll pay for the chair. We'll be right back after these words.